Welcome to Business Owners Speak Out. I am Lydia Navo, your host, and I am here with Darnald. How are you, Darnald?
Hey Lydia, how's it going?
I'm good. It's been a while since we chatted. I know we were just catching up a little
Yes.
bit before this, but I'm happy to have you on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so why don't we go ahead and get started and you just tell us about what you do and how you got into it.
Yeah, so I have two hats that I mainly wear. I'm an insurance agent by day and photographer by night. And I just started my photography business about a year ago, probably since we've talked last.
Yeah, I don't
So
think I knew about that.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Awesome. What type of photography do you do? And what type of
So right
insurance?
now,
Different things, yeah.
yeah, so for the insurance business, I've been in it I just celebrated 14 years last month. And
Woo,
we
congrats.
we specialize in supplemental benefits. And so essentially it's the opposite of health insurance, right? So health insurance is great because it pays the doctors and the hospitals, but the reality is it doesn't even pay the whole bill, does it? So that's where we come in is we pay cash to our clients when they go through something major so they can use it however they need to. And our biggest advantage over most insurances in general is if our clients don't use it, they get all their money back 100% depending on their age.
Wow, that's awesome. And then the photography, what type of photography do you do?
So I'm still dabbing in a little bit of everything right now. I've done everything from fitness shots to model shots to weddings to events to headshots. So I've done a little bit of everything. So just trying to figure out what I like and what I don't like. What I did discover is I don't like the little kids.
I totally can understand that. Having two little kids and trying to photograph them is the worst.
Yes, trying to get them to sit still and do what you ask them to do. It's like
sometimes. My 2-year-old right now, anytime I try and take a picture of him, as soon as I pull out the phone, he just goes, I want to see. So he won't take a picture. He wants to come and look at what I'm taking a picture of. And I'm just like, never going to work. So
sounds like a curious kid.
Yes, very curious. Awesome. So who is target market? So for photography, I'm guessing you're still figuring out, so why target market, but what about for insurance? Who specifically benefits from your services? Who do you specifically work with? Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So I primarily work with small to medium-sized businesses. I work with a lot of solopreneurs, especially solopreneurs. If something were to happen to them and they can't work, they still need income coming in.
Yeah, right? For sure.
And so that's where we specialize in. My specific niche is actually doctors and dentist practices because they get it. I don't really have to explain much to them. They see how financially devastating going through catastrophic events like cancer, heart attacks, accidents are, and they see it through their patients, right? And I don't have to explain to them. Life happens. They see it on a daily basis. So.
And where do you typically find your target marketing? Do you do networking? Is there a specific marketing strategy that you like to use?
Absolutely. So we're still old school. We just show up. We actually go to business, and we just go introduce ourselves inside the businesses. I do a lot of networking outside of that personally because I love networking. It's just great to build relationships. I think that's actually how you and I met, is through a networking event. And so it's great. But we probably just go business to business. We have a database of different businesses that we could go talk to and we just go say hi.
Awesome. That's super impressive because a lot of people are terrified to do that. But it's so beneficial. It's actually one of the best marketing strategies. So I'm glad you do that. And then you're also, I know you said you like to network. So you're a member of a couple chambers or a chamber, correct?
Yes. So I'm very active on the east side of Houston, or east side of Harris County, really. It's the North Channel Chamber of Commerce. Okay. I actually live on the north side, but I'm active on the east side because that's where my parents still live. And I really want that community to thrive and really be a prosperous community for them. So I'm actually on the board of directors for the North Channel Chamber.
Awesome. Well, how is that chamber different than any other chamber, would you say?
It's funny you say that because I know a lot of people are involved in multiple chambers. Mm-hmm. I've actually never joined any other chamber. So
really?
It's the only chamber I know. So,
yeah, it's kind of like BNI chapters. Like they just all have their own vibe, their own personality, and so it's interesting. I just didn't know if there's something different about that one, but that's awesome that you're involved and you're on the board of directors, so you get to have your hand in kind of a lot of things. That's really cool. And I think the biggest part of any networking event is kind of going full in right? It's not just attending a meeting here and there. It's actually being present at a lot of different things so that people know who you are and want to do business with you, right? It's those relationships.
Yeah, I love the phrase, the best ability is availability, right?
Oh, I like that. I don't know that I've ever heard that, to be honest. I like it. So what are some of the challenges that you have faced in having your own business?
Yeah, so for the insurance side, I think the challenge is finding amazing people to join my team
Ah, gotcha.
because um, we could give people the opportunity, but ultimately, if they take it and run with it, is on them. I say I lead a volunteer army because we're all 1099, we're independent agents, so I can't really tell them what to do. I could coach them and guide them based on my experience in my 14 years in business as far as what works, but whether they take it or and do it, that's ultimately on them, right? I can't hire them or fire them based on what they do or don't do.
Yeah.
So we could give them the opportunity, provide the platform. We have all the strategies and everything in place, but to find somebody that has that internal drive, that internal fire, that does it for their purpose, for a reason that's bigger than themselves, that's the biggest challenge, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just finding help in general, I can't even imagine like finding people who are going to be running their own book of business. You know, it's not like it's a just a job they're looking for. They're looking to start their own thing. So it's yeah, that's awesome. What about biggest advice to business owners?
The biggest advice to business owner is consistency. I'm really a big fan of an article called "The Common Denominator of Success." Have you heard of it?
Maybe.
I highly, highly recommend
Okay.
anybody read it. So, uh, in like one of the things it says is successful people form the habit of doing the things that unsuccessful people don't like to do. Let me
That
repeat
makes
that again.
sense.
Successful people form the habit of doing the things unsuccessful people don't like to do. And it's not that successful people like to do it, but they just do it anyways.
Yeah.
And that's probably the reason people are unsuccessful is because they don't want to do the things they don't want to do that they know
Yeah.
they need to do, but they don't do it. But successful people do it anyways. And the article goes on to talk about the reason successful people are willing to do it is because they have a purpose that's bigger than whatever the thing they don't want to do. And if
Mm-hmm.
they have the eyes on the prize, the eyes on the end objective, then ultimately that's how they become successful. And that applies not just to business, it applies to life in general. And so, but especially for businesses, if you know you have an end in mind, like if your purpose, your why is strong enough, you're going to be able to accomplish whatever you're trying to
Yeah,
accomplish.
totally agree with that. I love that piece of advice of it's consistency, it's forming the habits, it's having the purpose. I mean, all of that is super important because you're right. That's I mean, that kind of leads into what I wanted to ask next is what keeps you motivated, right? What is your purpose? What keeps you motivated to keep going when it's not the best of times, maybe?
Yeah, it's really funny you ask that because when I first started, your purpose changed throughout your career, right?
Sure.
I was just in survival mode. I just wanted to pay bills. My previous employer, she got behind on my salary, so I was behind on my mortgage, I was behind on my car note. Just the worst situation to start in for a 1099 position, right? But I committed to myself that I was going to do this come hell or high water, 10 years, no matter what. Like it was just a personal commitment. And I did go through a lot, but it was definitely worth it. Um, but the key is just knowing your purpose. And with time, like I said, my purpose changed. My initial purpose was to survive. I just wanted to pay bills, right? But with time, like cancer wasn't that big a deal in my family when I first started with Family Heritage. But I went to a meeting. It was our national meeting, and it was in Chicago at the time. And a lot of times they'll have our clients come to the meeting just to say thank you to all the agents. And one of the our clients came to meeting, and obviously she got diagnosed with cancer, and she had to take a self-administered chemo, one pill every single day. And she actually had health insurance. And she said even with her health insurance, she still had to pay $200 per pill out of her pocket. And
Oh
she
my
said
goodness.
literally because of the money she was receiving from our company, it's the reason she's even alive today.
Wow.
And
That's
she
amazing.
shared that, I got goosebumps. And then the light bulb went off. I go, oh, that's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
This literally
Yeah.
could be the difference between life or death for our clients. And I still have that conviction to this day. But with time, cancer actually got closer and closer and closer to me. I had a really good friend that went through it. And just most recently, my dad just got diagnosed with cancer.
Oh
And
my
so
goodness.
it's just like, yeah, the closer it gets to me, it's just like, this is real. Like life happens, and most people are blindsided by it. So
Yeah.
I honestly don't see myself retiring from the insurance business. I'll be like 80, 90 years old, be like, you want to buy a cancer policy? But that's how strong my purpose is, because
Yeah.
it's a life calling, not just a career.
I think that's an amazing purpose, and sorry to hear about your dad and your other family members or other people close to you. But yeah, it is scary, and it's like you said, it comes out of the blue. Nobody prepares for that. Nobody plans for that. Nobody's like, oh yeah, in 2 years I'll get cancer. Like, no, we don't know that. So you got to be prepared all the time. So if there was one thing that you want people to do today to I guess support the business or to take that next step so that they are covered, what would that be?
Yeah, I would encourage you to sit down with the agent, even if it's not myself. Like, have that conversation. I know it's not a pleasant conversation to have, but ultimately the truth hurts sometimes. Like, you don't want to go to the doctor and they look at you for 2 seconds, be like, oh, give them some cough medicine, send them home, right? No, like, really analyze your situation, really do surgery on your personal situation to see if something catastrophic were to happen. Are you prepared? Are you truly prepared?
Sure.
Like, and I when it comes to the big C word, I don't think anybody's truly prepared, because you know how expensive it can be.
Yeah.
But just have that conversation with the professional. And if you want to reach out to me, you're welcome to, but reach out to somebody that knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, and if they want to reach out to you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So you can reach me on my cell phone. It's 281-788-4778. I'm on all the social medias. You can find me at Darnald Jr. Um, literally at Darnald Jr. on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the social medias. And then for the photography, if you need headshots, if you need event photography, if you have a special celebration coming up, is Darnald Jr Productions. And that's my website too, darnaldjrproductions.com. There's a form you can fill in if you're interested in getting a quote.
Awesome, very cool. And I guess a little bit about you. What are some hobbies you like to do outside? I mean, outside of work, or is it all work?
Oh no, life is too short. You got to enjoy it, right?
Good.
So I appreciate that question. So on Sundays, I'm actually very active with my church. I play drums for my church. So I've been a drummer since I was in middle school. And
Oh
so it's
wow.
something, a way to give back, right? And I love to travel. Like, it's been a second since I've traveled, so it's time to go. But I love traveling. Like, I've been to 8 different countries. I lived in 8 different states for at least 3 months or longer.
Wow.
I just love experiencing different cultures. So yeah, and the list goes on. I'm a adventure seeker, so I've done everything from skydiving to
Oh,
snowboarding to whitewater rafting, hot air ballooning. I've been on a helicopter, so I've done a lot of things.
that's
And I
awesome.
guess I'm a little bit of adrenaline junkie, just a little
And
bit.
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. What would you say is the favorite place that you've traveled to?
By far, hands down, Hawaii. So
Oh,
Hawaii, the whole time I was there, was surreal. I'm like, teach me, am I alive? Is this real? And somebody claims that Australia is more beautiful than Hawaii. I was like, I got to see this too. So Australia is at the top of my list right now of destinations I want to go to. But Hawaii by far has been the best. Like, to go to Hanamo Bay, to go to the Polynesian Culture Center on the north side of Oahu, to experience Pearl Harbor in person, like to read about it in school, and then to go see Pearl Harbor was just incredible. It just really brought it to life. It's like, wow, this really happened. A lot of people really died, right?
yeah.
And so it's Hawaii by far is surreal.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, Darnell, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to share? Anything that you just want to leave our listeners with?
So I always say just seize the moment. Like, all we're guaranteed is right now. A lot of times people are so focused on the past and all the mistakes they made, and some people are focused on the future. What if this happens? What if that happens? But the key is to be present, and if you enjoy the present, you'll experience a peace that surpasses all understanding. So be present with now, because that's all we're guaranteed. That's all we're blessed with. And if you live in the moment, then you're going to experience a lot of joy that most people don't realize that they can have.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, you can't change the past, so why worry about it? And you have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow or the next second. So, yeah, stay in the present. I love that very, very, very much. Awesome. Well, it was so nice chatting with you today. I will make sure that we post all of the stuff, tag you in it so that you can share with everybody, and hopefully people will give you a call and really make sure that they are covered for any of those unfortunate situations that they happen. They happen to all of us. So hopefully they reach out and can get some coverage and some help. Appreciate you being on.
Thank you, Lydia, for the opportunity, and I've enjoyed it.
Awesome.